I want to be honest with you. One of the things is really effective to all of the athletes in Iran. It's because of the number of the athletes. The competition, it's very tight. You have competition with many of the athletes who are better than you, and you have to keep always your level in the high. I had a goal, I had a target to be good and better than my teammates. So this is about the mental part and also about the physical part and condition part. If the athletes, as my opinion, if the athletes who does taekwondo and they cannot do a squat, they cannot do Olympic lifts, I think they have some God talented. I mean, they have genetics. But athletes who cannot do these exercises, for me it will be very difficult to believe they can have a success, they can have a medal. Always I believe if there is a success, if there is a medal, it's not only because of the athletes. It's because of the coaches, because of the people who are working in the federation, because of the people who are cleaning the training hub, everybody. Because for the success, it's like a puzzle. Each one of us are a piece of the puzzle. Everybody. If you have a medal, it's working like this. And also, if there is no success, for me it's the same. The most important things next to all of the training, hard working, discipline, all of these things are the character. When you have a character, you need to build your character.
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Shape. This episode is going to be on English. I hope all the Bulgarian who is going to watch it, you can see subtitles that will be Bulgarian, or I think the English is the international language in general. And I want to say hello to my big friend, Farzad Zolgadri. He's the head coach of the national team of taekwondo. Thank you for accepting the invitation. And welcome to Beyond the Shape. We go straight to the point. You can say very quick about your career, about where you went through in your career as an athlete, and then we can switch to coaching.
Okay, first of all, hello and thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here, and I hope everybody who is watching these podcasts, they can use all of the moment and it can be beneficial for all of them. So, for the moment, I'm 33 years old and I started taekwondo when I was 5 years old. So from 9 years old, Iran is totally different than Europe country because, from the very beginning, we have really high intensity competition between athletes. So when I was 9 years old, I became national champion of the under 9 years old, and after that, I started to develop myself. I was member of the cadet national championship, member of the junior national championship, and also I was the captain of the junior national team. And after that, I joined to the senior national team. Of course, when I say join, it's not like that. Just they say, okay, come here.
Because of your father, for example. Because your father is a legend, right?
Yeah,
your father is a legend.
To be honest, I started taekwondo because of my father, because he was the head coach of the Iranian national team. Participated 6 times in the Olympic.
6 times at the Olympics, his father as a coach, 6 times in the Olympics.
And as a head coach, he has 2 gold medals in the Olympic, 2 bronze and 1 silver. And also as a technical manager of the Iranian national team, he has 1 silver and 2 bronze. So
your family in general is one of the best when we talk about taekwondo in the world.
Yes. He did a lot of effort, and he was one of the main person. I'm not saying because he's my father, but he was one of the main person who helped to the Iranian taekwondo to change the system, to develop the system. And I cannot, the proof is the result. So exactly. He has as a head coach with the Iranian team the highest result.
Your best success was 2nd place in the university games?
Yeah, I have a bronze medal in the Asian Championship, and also I have a silver medal in the university games, which is, one of the, let's say I can say, because, the university games is like an Olympic for the students, and it's one of the highest events in the world. So all of the countries are coming with the, let's say, top athletes, and they are coming to take the medals. Yeah, I took silver medal there, bronze medal in the Asian Championship, and also I have silver medals in the World Cup with the Iranian team, but not in the individual, in the sparring individual. We have a team sparring. In the team sparring, silver medal in the World Cup. Yeah.
What it takes to have 20 years as professional athletes, you know, this longevity, this long professional career, 20 years, what it takes, first of all, for strength and conditioning, like to have a healthy body for 20 years to compete in world level, what it takes,
So I want to be honest with you. One of the things is really effective to all of the athletes in Iran. It's because of the number of the athletes, be honest, because the competition, you know, it's very tight. You have competition with many of the athletes who are better than you, and you have to keep always your level in the high. Like a motivation, I had the motivation to be good from my teammates. I had a goal, I had a target to be good and better than my teammates. So this is about the mental part and also about the physical part and condition part. You know, of course, I had 2 times operation for my knee, and you know, injury is the part of the sport. You cannot close your eyes to the injury. But I remember from 16 years old when I joined the junior national team, I remember mostly 3 times or even 4 times per week we had the condition training. We had strength training.
4 times strength training, conditioning training.
Yes, even from the junior when we were 16 years old, 17 years old. And of course, when I moved to the senior after 18 years old, you know, it was more and more. And even during the times when I was losing weight, because, you know, I was 75 kilograms, 76 kilograms, and I was fighting 68.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can be honest, only the last week before the competition, you know, I changed the system. I didn't stop the strength training. I changed the system, not 100% strength. I changed them to the speed, to the specific strength training.
This is very important to all the listeners that you started strength training when you was junior, and this take place for developing your strength and power quality. So when you become a senior,
absolutely,
this can help you to develop, and you didn't stop it, because in Bulgaria, I don't know, in the Balkans as well, and maybe in worldwide, there is still this myth about, okay, you don't do strength training because you can get slower or whatsoever, but we can discuss things in later. But why you decided after 20 years, one of the best taekwondo family in the world, you decided to become a coach? Is it because you wanted to continue your father's legacy? It was more about you, that you see opportunity to develop, you have the, you know, feel the skills to show and help the athletes as a coach?
So, you know, I moved to Bulgaria 5 years ago, and one of the main reasons to move to Bulgaria for me was to participate in the Olympic Games 2020 as an athlete. Because, you know, I had some internal problem in Iran with our federation, and also I was a little bit out of the national team for 1 year. And, you know, when you are going out of the national team from Iranian national team, it's really difficult to get back. It's really difficult.
It's a lot of competition.
Yes, it's really difficult. And in the beginning, my mission was to be here as an athlete and to participate in the Olympic Games. But unfortunately, COVID came.
Yeah.
All of the tournament canceled. And, you know, in the COVID situation, I had training, but, you know, all of the gym were closed. I was training with the band. I was training, you know, with my body weight, running, you know. And then I started training, normal training after this quarantine. Unfortunately, I lost my ligaments, the ACL.
This was your second operation?
Yes, I lost my ACL and I did operation, but I didn't have enough time to recover it to participate in the qualification. In the qualification. And that time I was 29. Yes, I was 29 years old, and my target was only Tokyo, because I knew for the Paris I will be, you know, not old, but, you know, the age for the sport, especially for the taekwondo, there is limit.
20 plus years of, you know, busting your body.
There is limit. So I had the offer from the Bulgarian Taekwondo Federation, and I saw I can share my experience. I saw I can share my knowledge. So I accept the offer and I became a coach, just to, let's say, to follow my dream. But this time not as an athlete, as a coach to participate in the Olympic. Because last time I was dreaming as an athlete and I had a target as an athlete to go to the Olympic. I couldn't, but, you know, I promise
continue
myself
this thing,
to continue, but as a coach,
Yes. What role do you think strength and conditioning has in modern taekwondo compared to, let's say, old traditions? Or, because for me, the things during the 80s is not something new, it's just forgotten. And How important do you think strength and conditioning is in modern taekwondo?
So, you know, if I want to talk about 35 years or 40 years ago, you know, taekwondo related about the heavy techniques, about the repetition, you know, about very traditional line running. But be honest, from 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when I was little kid and I was watching the training of the Iranian national team, I can say to you from 25 years ago, they had all of the things what we are doing today, be honest. That's why taekwondo in Iran is one of the most successful sport in Iran. So yeah, I cannot compare from 40 years ago, because 40 years ago it was only repetition, long distance running, and that's it, you know, because I was not that time, you know, but I asked from my father, from many of the coaches. So, but for the moment, you know, I think that the role of the SNC coach is really important, because many of the athletes gain the confidence, as my opinion, gain the confidence from the strength and condition training. Because when I was an athlete, when I did a squat with the heavy weight, gave me confidence, you know. Or when I had a good running, when I had the, you know, everything when was good in my physical training, in my condition training, I gained confidence more than the taekwondo training. So yeah, you know, SNC training, you know, is for the moment in the new day of the taekwondo, I think is the first priority.
What are the most important motor abilities in your opinion? Is it for taekwondo? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it endurance? Is it mobility? Like, what do you think is the most important physical qualities, let's say, for taekwondo?
You know, all of them you mentioned are really important, because, you know, for me it was a pleasure, you know, we had the experience to work together. So, you know, now, you know, you have full image of the taekwondo. And as I know you, you did a lot of research about the taekwondo. So I think in this part, you know, you will be agree with me, I hope so. But, you know, all of them are really important, what you mentioned. But speed and explosive and strength and, you know, the foundation of the body is really important for the moment. Of course, without mobility and without endurance, they cannot be enough. So taekwondo is a sport. If you want to be success, you need to have all of them. You cannot be specific only for the speed. You cannot be specific only for the strength. You cannot be specific only for the reaction. So I think you saw all of them, and you know taekwondo is the sport for having medal, for having success. You need all of them together.
And actually, when we talk about studies, there is a study about two groups, fighters. One group, they did strength training, strength-specific training, plyometrics. The other group did just what I think you tell me, actually, in Bulgaria, you have enough experience. It's a 2018 study. They did just regular high volume circuit training and some rope skipping. The other one did heavy lifts, plyometric sprints, and high intensity interval rowing. What they figured out is that the specific group improved strength by 20+%. They improved their squat, bench, deadlift, and the circuit group trainings with circuit training, strength training, they didn't improve at all. So they have no gains. I think I sent you this study. And this study is so crucial about everybody around the world that train taekwondo. They think taekwondo is only circuit training with like the basic circuit training that everybody is doing. You do push-ups, then you do push-ups, then you go and then you do circuit training. But then you are working only on the capacity, strength, endurance, for example. And taekwondo now, and I was talking with a lot of taekwondo strength conditioning coaches in the world that are working with Olympic medalists, and I was talking with them, especially after I took the job to work with you, because I was part of the national taekwondo team for around four months, and I helped them for preparing for the world competition. And I saw that strength, like max strength and power, is so important in order to generate this, you know, rate of force development, you know, this power of the legs, this quickness, because you cannot be powerful if you are not strong enough.
Yeah,
you know, and the speed as well, the speed, let's say, of the kick, you know, it's max strength and plyometrics. The plyometric is the transition between max strength to speed, and that's why it's so important. I think this is something that we have to kind of say it out loud, and that's why we're doing this podcast. So more and more coaches, athletes, they know what they are missing and how important the max strength and power, heavy lifts, and proper technique and proper progression is for elite performance. Of course, we're talking about strength and conditioning. We work together, but you are the guest, so I'm asking you, and then we can agree on this. Like, walk us through a strength and conditioning session that is for taekwondo. Of course, we can cover more in depth. Let's say a weekly schedule. Let's say Monday we do this, Tuesday we do this, Wednesday we do this. Let's say it's the preparatory phase for a tournament that is after 8 weeks. So we have basically we did, let's say, for example, the first 2 functional adaptation weeks. So they're ready for high intensity. What is a normal weekly schedule when they're ready for the intensification phase? Or you can say, okay, let's go like this. You do one training, so you explain one training for taekwondo, then I can walk to a microcycle, a week.
You know, okay. So as you know, in taekwondo we have a lot of tournaments. We have a lot of events. Almost every weekend we have events. But we are working for our main target, which is, for example, World Championship. So, of course, to having medal in some events, because we call G1, G2, to have a medal there is good. But, you know, all of the focus is for the World Championship or for the main event. So when we are working for the main event, the program became longer and longer. So you cannot only focus about the sum of the tournament, what you have in the calendar or in the upcoming. But you know, the thing is, you know, for the moment I understood, you know, we have to work more also to add more mobility exercises for our competition. So our competitors. So we have to work more for explosive strength, which is almost, you know, as my opinion, until the last 10 days before the competition, you can have explosive strength. You can have it, because here many of the athletes, many of the coaches, as you mentioned, they are thinking if they are doing maximum, if they are doing explosive strength, you know, they are losing the speed, they are coming slow, which is, you know, for me, you know, because I experienced that by myself.
And it's not by yourself. There are studies that prove that the neurological training, let's say, for example, if you want this neurological adaptation to be on the day of the competition, let's say we do some power training, some quick Olympic lifts, some quick strength barbell squat, some plyometrics.
Exactly.
It's taking 48 hours max. So let's say, for example, if Saturday is the competition, right, we have to do Thursday latest that kind of neurological training so we can have the nervous system be ready for Saturday. The best is even Friday or even the day of the competition, just to get some, this is called potentiation, post-activation potentiation, that basically track and field athletes are doing. You know, you do 2-3 heavy squats and then you go and sprint, because that's how you activate the nervous system. You cannot activate the nervous system by dynamic stretching, some mobility, and
but you know, for if I want to, you know, to specify about how we start our, maybe each one session, you know, we are starting with mobility and dynamic warm-up, you know, and which is really, you are good on that. And I was really happy when we were training together. And plyometric for the explosive, and also Olympic lifts, again, we did together. And also squats for the strength, which is, you know, it's a part of the taekwondo, you know. If the athletes, as my opinion, if the athletes who does taekwondo and they cannot do a squat, they cannot do Olympic lifts, I think they have some God talented. I mean, they are, you know, they have genetics. But athletes who cannot do these exercises, you know, for me, it will be very difficult to believe they can have a success, they can have a medal.
Exactly. And it's taking years to develop.
Yes.
It's taking years to develop. And you cannot transfer this thing to the sport if you don't have enough experience with strength training.
And also, for the, and also I really believe, with some specific conditioning training, we can develop the athletes really hard. I mean, about the specific conditioning training, if I want to be a specific more about their endurance, about their capacity, I think taekwondo is having technical taekwondo on the way of the condition training. What that's mean, with the repeating too much, with the kicking too much, with the having a sparring in the maybe more than 2 minutes, because our round is only 2 minutes, 1 minute break. So I think which is also really important because, for example, in Iran, we are doing a sparring, we have a sparring day, and we are doing 15, 16 rounds.
Yeah.
And high intensity, 2 minute active, 1 minute, 2 minute active, 1 minute. But be honest, here, I never could push the athletes. I never, not push the athlete, but it's coming from their background, from their, their club. So after
the habits they have.
After 8 rounds, it's very difficult to
and this is the mentality.
Yes.
And so, I think this is the lost, how you call it, the lost piece from the 80s in Bulgaria, because in Bulgaria in 80s, we was a world power in sport. Team sport, individual sport, we was one of the best in the world, but the mentality in that years was you have to survive. And the sport is your only ticket to leave the country, to leave the city, to go and see the world, right? And I think now this is the biggest mistake. They're in the comfort zone. They don't want to push. I was watching even a wrestling documentary movie, again, for fighters. And one of the world Olympic champion, he said, back in the days, in 90s, I was doing the exhaustion method. I was training until exhaustion, and then the training starts. Okay, maybe it's not the best because the risk of injury it's much higher, but how you balance technical skills and physical conditioning without overtraining? What kind of loading monitoring system you're using? And you know why I'm asking you this thing, because when we was working together, I found one technology. It's called First Beat. It's a strap that measures external and internal load, and we can see everything from training impulse, from recovery in the morning, from 7 days acute training load, from 21 days chronic training load. And we can see very easily only with these straps, are we overtraining them? Are we training them enough? What is the training impulse? And what is they have index of training effect. If the training effect index is below, actually above 4, and you're doing it every day, you're overtraining the athletes because it's too much intensity.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we are not using that kind of a device, what you mentioned, and also before, we were talking about.
It's still open.
Yeah.
Where is Slavi Binef? It's all open. We can talk. Federation. We can talk about it. No, it's I saw a lot of taekwondo players using First Beat strap.
Yeah.
When I was in a conference in Italy, and I was talking with them, and when our team was for a camp in China, it was in China. They told me they saw a few of them with that strap.
It's not like that because we don't want to do that, or we don't want to use that. But also, until today, the federation, I want to be open. Whatever I ask from the federation to support the athletes, from the Slavi Binef, whatever I ask, they did. But also federation has some limits.
Yeah, of course.
The budget is coming from the ministry
and from the country, from the government.
Yeah, from the government. But even out of the budget, Slavi Binef, the president of the federation, really he tried to support the team by himself, by finding the sponsor.
No, I remember when we had a conversation with Slavi, and he told me like how much effort he was putting the last years, how much money he's investing out of his pocket. So we can say a huge thank you to Slavi Binef, because if it wasn't Slavi Binef, taekwondo right now will be like before.
Yes, be honest. Be honest. Now I can say to you, because now I'm far a little bit from your question, but this one is really, really important to mention that now we have the biggest national team forever.
Opportunity.
he opened the way for the athletes. Now the athletes have a place to train. The athletes have a place to train, which is, before him, there was no any training center. So yes, unfortunately, we didn't have that kind of a device because, as I said to you, there is a lot of expenses. We have a lot of tournaments. We have a lot of, expenses for the equipment, for the electronic system. So that's why, yes, for the moment, we couldn't have this kind of the equipment.
But we can take this thing to the ministry.
Yeah.
If some of the ministry is watching, the government, please, we need some extra budget for our taekwondo players and national team so we can, Farzad as a coach can use and work much easier with this thing. Because, okay, you have the free option, you multiply RPE by the minutes of training and you get the volume. It's more subjective volume of training and you can have it on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. But right now, technology is so accessible and that kind of technology, it's around 300 level, for a strap. And I think we can be open and public because every episode here in our podcast, I'm always talking to the ministry, I'm always talking to the federation, I'm always talking to the government because we have to change something. Okay, because taekwondo is because of Slavi Binef. Okay, football, you saw what happened against Spain. Okay, it's Spain, you cannot compare, but basketball, Austria beat us with 30 points. So individual team sport, we have talents, but we need more support from the government.
And also, back to your question, communication between the technical coach and the S&C coach is the most important things for me. If I want to monitor the athletes, the communication which was between me and you, it was for me. It's the first things. After that, okay, as you say, using the technology, all of these kind of things is good. But when we don't have that kind of the technology, the communication between the coaches is the first place, and after that, how the coaches are believing to their program. Because if you believe to your program and you are following all the things you are planned for the training, so about the, of course, you cannot monitor everything, but when you believe to your program, so how the athletes are feeling.
Exactly.
When you don't have equipment, when you don't have technology.
Of course, you can use methods that work, and even though you have program, it's all dynamic process. You cannot say, okay, because today we do max strength, we have to do max strength, but let's say they woke up, they're not recovered, they're feeling pain here and there. And this is the other thing. Okay, it's individual sport, but you work with 8, 10 athletes.
Yes.
So it's a team sport, right? When we talk about training. So you have to individualize each program. Or you have knee pain, you have to do some isometric, some eccentric training, okay? Your back chain, your adductor is weak, okay, go do more Copenhagen planks, work more on your hip mobility, okay, your core is weak. So all these things, it's how you individualize each program. And as you said, the communication between the strength conditioning coach, the athlete, and I believe, when I was working with you, it was one of the few times in my career, and I was working with a lot of team sport, individual sports, swimming, tennis, was one of the best communication about volume, intensity, recovery, how we monitor. For the President Cup, we did amazing job with you. Like, they was refreshed, they was ready to go, they was in their peak about strength and conditioning and technical, but in my opinion, they wasn't ready in the mental side.
I think, in little bit when we are going front also, we will talk about that.
Yeah, what's the most common injuries in taekwondo, and how you think strength and conditioning can help to get I never say prevention because you never prevent injuries in elite sport. It happens, but the matter is to be less than.
So, about the injury, I have very good, I cannot say very good experience or very bad experience. But when I'm a coach, I can say I have a very good experience. When I was an athlete, it was a bad experience. But now when I'm a coach, I can say I have a very good experience. So, injury in the knee, in the hamstring, and ankle is the most common injury in taekwondo. And as you say, injury is part of the sports. However, you believe to yourself. However, you did all of the things, the strength training, recovery, everything you did, but again, you are not in the safe zone.
Yeah, you can
it still can happen. And
you never know.
Yeah. So, you know, strength work for stabilization is the first priority for me. You know, stabilization for taekwondo, stabilization, you know, to have a low risk for the injury for me is the first one. And after that, of course, mobility training and the load of the management. Load of the management is also really important, because when you have when you can manage, when you have a, let's say, the control to the load, then you can manage the load. It's the reason you can put the percentage down for the
exactly.
injury.
As we discussed, when you load, monitor the loading, you can very easily
reduce risk of the injury.
And there was an interesting study about that, about injury prevention and the mechanism. And they compare static stretching, they compare strength training in two groups, and they see that the control group, right, that the strength training is much more beneficial for injury prevention than static stretching. Mobility is so important. Yeah. But as you said, in order to have a stability, a strong leg, you need you need strong leg to be a stable leg.
Yes.
And I think sometimes people are jumping too much on bosu balls, too much on stability work, and they cannot do 10 Bulgarian squats without any weight. And I think it's a match. And the thing is that I'm sure a lot of listeners don't know it, but when you work on bosu ball, you're not working on ankle stability. You're working on hip stability, because it's not a stable surface. Because, you know, we are playing taekwondo, right? You're fighting on a stable surface. So the management and the controlling of the body on a stable surface, we work the ankle. On an unstable surface, we work the hip, because the body is trying to manipulate from the hip, not from the ankle. It's not. I'm not saying bosu balls are a waste of time. You need place of them. But
as you say, all of them are match.
Yeah, but people are sometimes going too much like, okay, let's do only circuit training and aerobic base running, slow jogging, or I will do only bosu balls. I think it's a complete, and you need different phases to focus. And as we
you have to know
individualize.
You have to know when you have to do this kind of training, that kind of training. That's you know, always my father said to me, that's the art of the coach.
Yeah, and this is so interesting.
That's the art of the coach, you know, to know what kind of the training your athletes need, what kind of the training you have to manage, you have to organize. That's the art of the coach.
How do you think let's talk about a little bit about the recovery side. What do you think is the most important to talk about recovery?
You know, recovery should be treated exactly like a training, because unfortunately some of the athletes, they are coming to the training and they are thinking, okay, 2 hours, 3 hours in the morning have a training, in the evening have a training, it's enough. And you know, they are coming with the, you know, high motivation, high energy, they are killing each other, and they are thinking the day is done, everything is done for the training. So, but it's not like that. It should be, you know, it should be exactly equal. How many hours you put effort in the training hall, you have to put effort for your recovery. That's my opinion.
Exactly, or even more, because recovery is happening. You get better when you sleep, when you eat proper.
Yeah, there is athletes, as I said, they are doing really good training, but when you are going out of the training center, you know, it's at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., you are seeing them still in the street, or you are seeing them, you know, online in the social media. You are seeing them online, you know, everywhere out of the recovery.
When they have to sleep, right, and recover, especially the hours between 10 and 2 are one of the most important for recovery.
You know, for me, high protein meal, again, you see mobility session for me is really important, even in the recovery period.
Yeah.
Even in the recovery period, mobility is really Of course, a sleep after 8 hours, everybody are saying that this is not something like nobody knows about that.
Yeah, but it's 8. It's 8 if you don't train. If you train, it should be 9, 10. You know, Carlos Nassar, he sleeps like 12 plus hours a day in order to recover this high volume of weights he's lifting on a daily basis.
When I was an athlete, when I finished my morning training, if I didn't have a nap between two training, at least 1 hour, I couldn't train.
And here it's very important for napping. You have to go 30 minutes or 90 minutes because one cycle, sleep cycle is 90 minutes. And if you sleep, let's say, for example, 1 minute, you can get in very deep sleep. And then if you woke up, it can mess up your circadian rhythm.
So now, again, the same, the recovery, how, my opinion is like that. How many hours you are putting effort in the training hall? Same hours, even more you have to put for the recovery, because I believe you can reach to your peak by the recovery.
Exactly.
Not by the training.
And I see this thing in Bulgaria, not only in taekwondo, but in every sport, is they don't follow the 3 most important things for recovery: sleep, eat, hydration.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, sleep, we discuss it. You need to sleep extra hour if you train hour and a half to recover. And food, I think people, especially in taekwondo, is very important for the next question, but they don't eat enough. They don't eat enough protein. Okay, I think especially in females, they're eating too little protein because they think they can gain weight. And once you got, okay, let's say you don't take 1.8 per kilograms, 1.8 grams per kilogram, to have enough protein for recovery the muscle, joints, ligaments,
as I said
everything.
To you, high protein meal,
I think this is the first thing. They don't know what's the priority. Protein is a priority.
Yeah.
Then you have to take 1 gram per kilogram after training of carbs to replenish the glycogen. Yeah. If you are 50 kilos, 60 kilos, you have to take 60 fast carbs, 60 grams, and around 0.4 protein, so around 30-40 grams of protein right after the training, so you can replenish the glycogen, you can replenish and get enough protein and electrolytes. I don't think people knows the rules about if you lose 1 liter of sweat, you have to drink 1.5 liters, so 150% liquid water plus electrolytes to recover and rehydrate your body. If you're only 2% dehydrated, and this is the next question, only 2% dehydrated, you cannot compete.
Yeah.
Reflexes, power, strength, conditioning, everything is messed up. Only 2%. And you lose sometimes 4 kilos for a week.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you think is the biggest mistake taekwondo athletes do when they are cutting weight before the competition?
One of the main things, they are cutting too late. This is one of the things.
Saw this thing on the first month with some of the athletes. I was like, hey, I'm not a taekwondo coach, but they're thinking, you're losing too fast.
Yeah, they are cutting too late because, weight management must be long-term. And, it should be a strategic. Of course, sometimes there can be, sometimes, not for all of the tournament,
This is exception, for example. It's an extreme situation.
The biggest problem, the biggest mistake, not my opinion, as I can see, I'm seeing cutting too late and no management for the weight, nothing, zero. Because, back in the years when I was athlete for cadet and junior, our coaches, they were checking our weight every day for cadet and junior. But when I moved to the senior, we never had it check.
So it's more kind of personal responsibility.
Absolutely, because when you are an elite athlete, when you are going to compete in the high level, it's part of your life to losing weight.
This is crucial
for your sport. It's part of your goal. It's part of your target.
It's crucial for martial arts to know how to lose the weight and how to control it. And I was very kind of anxious that I see where we're doing the mistake and still we cannot manage it because you lose too much. Like, this is physiology.
No.
If you lose 4 5 kilograms for 1 week, everything is in a stress mode, everything is in survival mode. How you can express what we did for 1 month about strength, power, endurance when the body is taking only to survive?
Yeah.
And you cannot express yourself.
Yeah, that, you know, as I said, they don't have they don't have weight management, because they are coming to train with the, for example, the athlete has to lose for 63 kilograms, he is 70 kilograms. And about that weight management, you have to train with the 67, 66.
Exactly. And this is the nutrition side. And as you said, you have to be responsible for your weight. And I think this is the one of the gap. I even in different martial arts as well. I know stories about people, they try to lose weight before the competition, the week before the competition. They drink 10, 12 liters a day so they can use the body of water, and then you cut it 2 days before, and the body continue to secrete liquids, and they lose much faster. But the negative side of this is you flush out all the minerals, the vitamins. Your vitamin D is low, no sport.
You know, be honest. When I was an athlete, I was losing 8 kilograms, 7 kilograms. But I never tried this method. I saw a lot of Olympic champions by my eyes, not only in taekwondo, because, you know, in Iran we have a sport complex, very huge. Everybody are training together, wrestling, judo, karate, taekwondo, all of the weight category sports. I never seen in my life such a method. To having 10, 12 liters water, and I never seen.
And why? It's a common sense, and there is so much information right now. You can very easily find the right information. And I don't know why I was thinking, but because especially taekwondo, there are so many things you have to think about. And if you are not good in, let's say, this piece, you're not losing weight proper, you cannot perform good. If you're not recover well, you're not perform. If you overtrain, you cannot perform. If you don't have enough strength, power, condition, endurance, you're not going to perform. If your technical side is not good, you don't have enough mobility to do the kicks, you're not good. If your mental side is not good. So there's so many things. If you miss only one thing, you're losing, for example. But why I see in Bulgaria, not only taekwondo, I was in swimming, tennis, basketball, football, all kind of sports. I see that federation, coaches, they put the blame on one guy. This is his fault, we have to change it. Even in football, I was in Tesla.
So, you know,
they change the coaches every game. They lose, it's the coach's fault. Go. Next one come. Why you
know, always I believe, I will answer your question like this one. Always I believe if there is a success, if there is a medal, it's not only because of the athletes. It's because of the coaches, because of the people who are working in the federation, because of the people who are cleaning the training hub. Yeah. Everybody, because for the success, it's like a puzzle. Each one of us are a piece of the puzzle. Everybody, if you have a medal, it's working like this. And also, if there is no success, for me, it's the same.
Exactly.
The coach we cannot blame the coach. We cannot blame the athlete. We cannot blame only the federation. We cannot blame many things. Exactly as I said, if there is a success, everybody are behind of this success. If there is no success, again, everybody are behind.
Yeah, you have to sit
unsuccess moment.
Yes, analyze the whole picture.
You know, in Iran, we say like this one: medal and success has 100 parents, 100 father and mother, but the lose doesn't have anyone. So, for me, you know, because also I saw, you know, in Iran is like this one also. You are the best coach in the world. You have the Olympic medal, but in the next World Championship, you look, listen what I'm saying. Please listen carefully. You have the Olympic medals. You have a first place in the World Championship overall by the team. But in the next World Championship, from first place, you are going to third place. Still, you are top 3 in the world. About the overall.
It's huge, yeah.
They are changing the coach, the head coach, all of the technical coach.
Everybody.
So that's I think that's a,
It's a politic,
it's
you know.
a politic,
it's
and it's not only about the Bulgaria, it's not about the Bulgaria.
Yeah, because we are here now,
Yes,
and I mean, I was in Norway, in Germany. You still see this thing.
But as I said, I'm staying behind of my word. If there is a medal, it's effort of many people, not only athletes, not only head coach, not only condition coach, not only president, not only, no, it's for everybody.
It's a teamwork.
Everybody.
It's a teamwork.
It's because
team effort.
We are as individual sports. Everybody are thinking, the athletes are, the medal is coming because athletes put a lot of effort, all of this comes. And again, same. Again, I'm repeating, now it's for the second time, third time. If there is no medal, again, all of us who was there, we can be the reason.
Yeah,
or not we can be. We are the reason.
Yeah,
not only one.
Exactly, but you have to sit down, all of you, and analyze. Yeah. What is the feeling? Because you already, how many years you're coaching now?
The national team.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, and then you have. So, for example, for a small career as a coach, you already have success and you already kind of achieved one of your dreams to have a medal in the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
What was the feeling having a medal in the Olympics as a coach in your first years? That's huge for me.
Again, to have a medal in the Olympic for the Bulgarian Taekwondo Federation, it was as I can say to you, one of the smartest plans we had forever. I think everybody knows it was a pleasure to have Kimia in our team and also her coach Davut. And when they joined to our team, really we start to work as a team. She joined to our team 4 months, 5 months before the Olympic. And in these 4 or 5 months, everything went perfectly. Everything was, on the really high cooperation between all of us. And of course, in the head was Slava Binef because, he gave peace to all of us. He organized everything, whatever the elite athletes need for Kimia, for the coach, for all of the people who were involved with the Kimia for the Olympic. And, Olympic is the highest dream and highest target for any athlete and any coaches. And for me was more because from 6 years old, 7 years old, I remember exactly clear, with the HD quality, when my father came back from the Olympic, when his athlete had the medals, how was the feeling? From that day, I was dreaming to be in the Olympic. I said, as an athlete, unfortunately, I couldn't. And it was an honor for me to be there next to Kimia and Davut. The feeling of the Olympic is like you are, how can I say to you? You are seeing yourself somewhere and you are wishing everybody who you love to be there. I mean, is like, I love my mother, I love my father, and something good happened for me, and I want it to happen for them. Yeah. It was a huge feeling, and I cannot explain by the word, because for me it was really, for me was really different, because Kimia, the first match was fighting with Iran. I think you know about this story. She was fighting with Iran. Iran is the home country. It was very, very difficult and very, something really strange. But to be there, even in the village, I was in the village of the University Games, as I said to you, but to be there, to see all of the champions, all of the Olympic medalists. You are going to the village to walking. Novak Djokovic is coming next to you. The NBA stars are coming next to you. To handling that pressure,
it's one of a kind, right?
Yeah.
You cannot.
So my feeling was, something, as I said to you, it was super beautiful. As I said to you, good things happen for me, and I want to share with the love person who is, I wish everybody feeling this one. It's something really I cannot explain by the word.
It's amazing, and I want to add something that when you say Kimia, because I was talking with Kimia on the President Cup, and this is something we didn't discuss on this episode. It's about the mental preparation and about that. I always ask elite levels like her, Olympians, this question about how you prepare yourself mentally to be ready in that kind of a high pressure, high environment. And she answered about manifestation,
Yeah.
visualization, believing in yourself. Every day, visualize the path and visualize that you're standing on the top of, with the gold Olympic medal, and you always repeat more and more situation and visualize, manifest. And when this thing happen, the brain knows, oh, I was here.
Yeah.
I'll be relaxed. I'll be here, and I'll know what I'm gonna do. And I know she's coming with the backhand. I'm gonna go with the right leg or whatever. So I think this is huge for the listeners about manifestation, visualization, in order to have success in elite performance. If you could give one piece of advice to all the taekwondo athletes who are watching, coaches, about what is to, let's say, to be successful, not only strength and conditioning, but to be successful.
For me, the most important things next to all of the training, hard working, discipline, all of these things are the character. When you have a character, you need to build your character, because the medal is medal. You are the person who give the character to this medal. So you can be world champion, but when you don't have a character, I think this medal is empty. So if you build character, if you have a strong character, it's not only in the mat, it's not only in the training center, I mean in the street, with the family, with the friends, with the normal people. If you have a strong character, if you believe to yourself how you can be benefit, how you have a benefit for the people around you, I mean about the benefit, the people are walking in the street, they need some help, you can go to help it. The old woman, the old man.
You have to be a human.
That's it. That's a character. For me, if you want to be champion, you have to build your character. And after that, everything will come.
Exactly. Character, being a human, having gratitude.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And believing in yourself. Okay, two quick questions. What is your favorite breakfast?
If I'm sure you never heard about the Iranian breakfast. You never heard, because, almost in the world they are knowing about the English breakfast, Turkish breakfast, but the Iranian breakfast is something like very strange, very unhealthy, but I will tell you what is my favorite, because that's the tradition. We are drinking tea with a lot of sugar, unfortunately. But not right now, I'm not drinking, but that's the tradition.
Yeah.
When I'm going to Iran to visit my family, I'm doing 100%, because it's, it's a memory, it's a, pleasure with the family.
Yeah.
So we are drinking tea with a lot of sugar, unfortunately. And next to that, we have some Iranian cream with the bread, which is again very high calorie. All of them are unhealthy. So this is my favorite one. But now it's almost 2 years I didn't try.
So we have to try sometime the Iranian breakfast. Yeah. Hey, last question. What means for you our podcast name, Beyond the Shape?
It's because now we are talking mostly about the sports. And, sport is related about the shape of the body, shape of the mind. For me, shape of the mind is the most important, because if you have a shape on your body, you are reaching to your peak, but here is not on the shape, nothing will happen. This thing is, I think all of the athletes are hearing these things million times per day, but unfortunately they don't work for that, for the mental, let's say, preparation.
So beyond the shape
your mind. Yeah, shape your mind is the most important things. Let me tell you one story. In Iran, we have one legend, Hadisai. He is right now president of the Iranian Taekwondo Federation. He has 2 gold medals in the Olympic and 1 bronze medal. 3 medals in the Olympic in a row. 2008, for the Olympic Beijing, from 68, his category was 68. He moved to minus 80. So means 12 kilograms heavier and totally different category. Before the Olympic, 2 months before the Olympic, his hand broke it, and he was with the broken PCL. 2 months before the Olympic. He couldn't train. Just the things he was doing, he was training with the bike, some taekwondo training, but you couldn't see him out of his room. He was like training hall, restaurant, room, and you couldn't see him. He was alone at the room, no roommate, nothing. He went to the Olympic. So imagine, elite athlete doesn't have a normal training for 2 months. But mentally he was
sharp.
He was on shape, let's say.
Yeah.
He took gold medal in the Olympic, but with what kind of the pressure? All of the Iranian sport in Beijing, all of the athletes, they lost. The Iranian sport in Beijing, they didn't have any medal until the last days. There was only 2 athletes left last days. One taekwondo Hadisai and one wrestler. Imagine, you are the Olympic champion of the Athens and everybody are expecting your medal, but you are the last one. Nobody took the medals, and you know about the pressure, what I'm talking.
Yeah.
He took the gold medal without 2 months training, not, of course, some training.
Yeah, but he's injured.
That kind of the pressure, and because that time my father was not the head coach, they changed the coach. In the last match, in the final, he was trying to keep calm the coach, his coach. I can send you the video and you can share the video, you can attach the video.
We can.
He said to the coach, easy, easy, I will be winner. I will be winner. So, you know, when I say shape of the mind.
Power of the
yes.
Mental shape. So shape your mind with Farzad Zolgadri. Thank you so much for being a guest in our podcast.
It was my pleasure.
I want to wish you good luck, and you always can count on me and my team. Doesn't matter we're working or not for now. I am still here to help. So I wish you good luck in the World Cup in October, and all the support here from our listeners as well. So if you want to learn more about Farzad Zolgadri, you can follow him or follow the Taekwondo Bulgaria on Instagram. You can follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us feedback, ask questions about, for example, strength conditioning for Taekwondo. We will be happy to answer. So again, thank you so much for being part of the podcast Beyond the Shape. See you next time.